city and pays them counterfeit. So some of the things that we do in our sensitization programs is to be able to show and demonstrate what anybody should be able to do, to look at either a banknote and coin, verify it just by way of eye, feel, or any other method that a human being can use without even a machine, to know that what I'm being given here is a genuine banknote. So we do not want people to be scared. And besides, the new and old banknotes are going to circulate side by side for a prescribed period of time. So during that time, also all these educational processes that I'm talking about to ensure that people are sensitized and that we remove the fear or we remove the perceptions that they may have would have gotten into the whole population. Secondly, also, I think what I'd like to put clearly here is that the new banknote, if you have a 10 kwacha in the old one, it will be equal to the 10 kwacha in the new banknote. So it will be 1 for 1. So it's not like if you have the new one, you have more money or you have less money than the old one. No. So the perceptions or any fears of loss of value for the money that you have or some other fears that are unfounded should not be there. This is just introducing new notes and creating coins for convenience for the general public. So whatever we're doing is actually going to provide more convenience. I know that change is something that a lot of us sometimes fear, but I think once the ball gets rolling, I'm sure that within a very short time, people get used to all this.
Oh, fantastic to hear as well. Yeah, so now coming back to your preamble, you did mention to say that your line of focus under your job engagement is so much into currency management, and also your department in totality works to a point where you make sure that the notes that you are producing as BOZ, as the central bank, gets to the far end. So now, with this process that is coming, and understanding that this is now a model that you have to work with what you have done overall and all the time that you have actually been able to work with this similar exercise, how are you looking at maybe incorporating other stakeholders? Are you in any way maybe looking at other stakeholders apart from the commercial banks? And do you intend to incorporate maybe some models that should be able to be so much easier so that even when the time you have a period coming to an end, you'll be able to speak of doing a good job at the end of it, or no one will be left with the old money? Are we looking at models that should be able to help us in this, or what do you have in mind around this?
Thank you. Yeah, obviously, like you rightly point out, we don't want anybody to lose value by remaining with old money. So the starting point, like I said, sensitize so that people, when they deposit that money, in fact, when most of these denominations are deposited, the thing that will happen is that the commercial banks will bring it back to Bank of Zambia. Then they will be given value in new denominations. Then the new denominations now will become the ones that will circulate. So if you are transacting, you are sitting with money, because it's rare that people just sit with money for the sake of sitting with it. We have money to meet our daily needs. So if I go to a shop, I pay with that money. The shopkeeper, of course, over time, once he's got a lot of it, he will take it to his bank, and the bank is going to bring it to Bank of Zambia, because the banks will not be allowed to reissue the notes that are supposed to be exchanged. Okay? So they cannot reissue them to the public. So those notes will come to Bank of Zambia, and then Bank of Zambia will credit the banks, and if they want to withdraw the similar amount of money or more, depending on what they want to pay out, they'll be paid out in new money. So the expectation here is that as much as possible, through the normal trade and commerce, most people should be able to deposit. But also, for those that have physical cash, you have a bank account, or you don't have an account, for example. you can go to a bank. In fact, it's an opportunity for you to go and open an account. It's an opportunity for you to be part of the financial system, to be financially included. So once you go and take your money, you can discuss with the commercial bank where you deposit. You don't need to go out. If you take 100,000, come out again with another 100,000. Keep it safe in the bank. Let the bank give you an appropriate account type that is suitable for your needs. Then you start withdrawing that you want to go and utilize. In terms of other players, I think these are things that we shall be aware of. Immediately the SI has been issued, because then the minister would have prescribed who the other players could be, or who else can assist with the exchange of banknotes and coins, in terms of facilitating that even those that are in areas that do not have banks are able to exchange banknotes and coins for new. But at the same time, like I've said, during the normal course of business, assuming you're given 1 year to run parallel, at least you'd have spent most of that money. You won't have a stock of 1 year cash in your house, but you'd have spent it, and hopefully.
What about those who are basically far-flanked area, remote areas where maybe there is a communication challenge, and also they seem to be far away from even the mainstream media? They are not able to get what we are hearing today to say there is a change that is about to take place. How are you working out models to ensure that they have information at their advantage to take this step? How are you working out with the models of communication to them?
Thank you very much. The communication strategy takes into account all those colleagues and citizens that do not have information like we have today. We have teams from the banks, teams from various other stakeholders whom we intend to work with to be able to disseminate information to almost every corner of this country. And this information will be disseminated also in the languages that the people speak. If I'm going to go to Zambezi, I'll speak in the language, whether it's Lunda or Luvale. I go to Mongu, we have people who speak in the local language in Lozi, and any other area that you talk about, we shall have people. Now, another strategy is also to have a trainer of trainers, because of course we know that we'll be there for a time as Bank of Zambia and other stakeholders, but there are also community people who remain there, who live among these people, who we shall also impact this knowledge with. Leave them with posters, give them all the information. Teachers, well-respected people in all these societies, community leaders, they could be councillors, they could be headmen, chiefs. We intend to reach out to all these people in terms of the communities, so that the demographic that is captured is wide, and we are able to see that people have gotten the information. Not that someone will give us a 10 pence, which was long gone because they've never heard that there was a Kwacha. So,
just this morning when I was on Quito Radio, this lady was saying, that 50 Kwacha which has got 5 presidents, I'm not going to give it. I will remain, it's sentimentally for me, so I will keep it. So now, looking at the issues of value, obviously we talked about the transition period which will be stipulated in the SI. What happens to those that maybe you'll be able to have money but haven't exchanged? What happens in this case?
Unfortunately, if the transition period has ended, the money becomes museum material. Like how the lady says she will keep this money with 5 presidents. In fact, that was a commemorative banknote.
Are you able to speak something about it as well, knowing that it's coming from your department?
Okay. The bank, from time to time, does issue what we call commemorative banknotes or coins. Even from far back as I can remember, even before some of us joined the bank. So those coins, like I remember there's one which was a 15 ngwe with the 12 corners, and it had a cob of maize. I think they were commemorating the Food Agricultural Organization. There's in the very recent times, like you have rightly pointed out, there's that 50 kwacha. That was during the 50th anniversary, actually, of the Bank of Zambia. That the heads of states that had been in power up to that time, their faces were put there. So that was a commemorative banknote. If you see, there are other 50 kwachas without those heads. So those were the circulating notes. But even that one, even if it was commemorative, it was also issued as a circulating note. So there could be coins, especially in the past they issued a lot of coins. Others could be non-circulating, actually. So you can issue non-circulating commemorative coins or banknotes, or circulating commemorative coins and banknotes for which you give value.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, so now, concurrent to the current statement that you have just mentioned, of course, understanding that the new proposed banknotes and some coins there, we seem to have some features that are embodying issues of eco-tourism. And also considering the statement that you've also mentioned, I'm trying to look at a way. Are you able to maybe typically explain the features and attributes that have actually been embedded into these newly introduced banknotes and the other coins?
Yes, thank you very much. In fact, this is a very good question that you ask, because in fact these banknotes and coins, the new series is aptly named Heritage Series. So it celebrates Zambia's heritage. So what you see on these banknotes and coins are things that are close to Zambia's heritage. It will have, if you look at the back of each of the banknotes, it has a waterfall. Most people, those who don't live in Zambia, even some of us in Zambia, don't even know that other than the Victoria Falls, unless you possibly live in near Mporokoso, there's the Chishimba Falls and so on. But they won't know that there's other big waterfalls, marvels, that you can go to, both in the Northern Circuit and in other parts of Zambia. So you find that we've got waterfalls like the Kabwelume, Lumangwe, Sioma, the Victoria, yes, exactly, Sioma, then you've got the Kalambo Falls, and if you look at some of these, they've got a lot of historical meaning. The Kalambo Falls, by the way, not so long ago, that's where the oldest civilization by archaeologists was found. The oldest civilization in the world, according to the archaeologists that did some work. This is about last year. They found artifacts there of wood at the Kalambo Falls. You see, so it's a second highest drop on this continent. After the one in South Africa, the Kalambo Falls is the second deepest falls. People don't know all these things. There are very nice rapids at Chishimba Falls, the Kaela, and so on. All those have been put there. So Sioma, very beautiful places that we have. So that's one. Two, we have artifacts like the animals themselves. If you look at the animals, I'll pick a few. Like, look at on the one Kwacha coin, we've always had, there's a bird called the chaplain's barbet. Now that chaplain's barbet, it's only found here in Zambia, in the Chisamba central province area. It's endemic to Zambia. So endemicity was one of the themes or issues in the flora and fauna model that we took in designing the notes. Two, if you look at on one of the banknotes, you have a giraffe. Now, you would tell me, giraffes may be found everywhere. No, that is a Thornycroft giraffe. It's only found in Zambia, in the South Luangwa. On another banknote, you find that two birds looking at each other, they're called black-love chickbirds. These are only found in Zambia, in the southern part of Zambia. They're endemic to Zambia. So, on another banknote, there's black lechwe. again, only found in Zambia in the Bangweulu Plains.
Okay.
So we must be proud about these things that we have, which are our heritage. You know, so there's a porcupine on the 10 Kwacha, an endangered species. So they again trying to give education to the public about how we need to preserve this endangered animal, which is sitting there, just like the rhino is sitting on one of the other banknotes, another endangered species. So other than just saying we have these, we're also saying these, can we please protect our heritage, don't endanger them. There are trees there of significance to Zambia, like the Mukula, Ingombe Ilede. There are all those sitting on those banknotes in various areas. There are flowers, bougainvillea on the 10 Kwacha. Who knows that the bougainvillea, that's a Zambian flower actually.
Oh.
A lot of people don't know, but it is a Zambian flower. It is a symbol of the Zambian flower. So bougainvillea is there. There are a lot of other flowers sitting there, others which are just endemic to Zambia. So we are also putting economic activities on the front side. You find the Kariba Dam, which is an energy space. You find there is a tractor somewhere which is talking about agriculture. We're talking about tourism there. We are talking about financial sector. So we're talking about connection. There's a Kazungula Bridge on one of them. So all these are speaking to economic pillars. We're also speaking to issues that relate to our tourism. We are speaking to things that relate to our heritage, things that we own that nobody else owns.
Fantastic. That sounds like we are seriously promoting the ecosystem within tourism as well, which I've seen that much of what has been occupied there, it's more centered to economic domestication sort of ideas. So now coming back to the action notes, I'm sure you can also highlight the characteristics in terms of security enhancement measures, and also looking at the aspect of counterbalancing issues of counterfeits and many other related cases. How are we speaking to those lines? Are we seeing a security composition to also take a good shape around the notes?
Yes. In fact, one of the primary reasons why the bank had to also change the banknotes, other than also the reality that we needed to restructure because of the other reasons that I mentioned, was one, we need to secure our banknotes. When you secure your banknotes, there's confidence that remains the banknotes. So we have a number of security features. Public features, specifically, we talk to things that you can see, feel, you know, and possibly by playing with the banknote, you can tilt the banknote. Now, what is there? On most every banknote, we have a security thread. Now, if you look at these security threads, they play a role in identifying a banknote.
Okay.
Now, if you tilt almost every banknote, the thread makes some movement. You see certain movements, different movements for different categories of banknotes, but we want people to be able to identify the banknote, because if it's a photocopy, a print, a scan or something, those features are very hard to copy, they cannot move. So it's important that people look at those as the first line of security. Okay. You can look through the banknote towards the light, the good old watermark. Okay. On top of the bird somewhere, when you do that, you see a fish eagle's head sitting there, and a small little fish eagle again, and a number, which is the value of that banknote. Again, it's sitting there.
Hologram?
Hologram is replaced by the thread. So the security thread plays a similar role to holograms. So we don't have holograms on these particular banknotes. We have security threads. Yes, because that would be a duplication. I see. Yes, that would be a duplication. So then the other thing that you see, of course, in terms of the colors of these banknotes are quite distinct. Okay? I remember in the past, whenever the teams would go out somewhere, you and me are able to read. So you're able to tell it's a 10 kwacha because you can see the number 10. Some people cannot read. They can only distinguish a banknote by color. They know that, oh, this one, which is looking like this, is the big one.
Exactly.
This one, which is looking like this, is the small one. So people, we used to hear that some people used to confuse a 10 kwacha and a 50 kwacha because they said they looked very close. But there's a distinct coloring of these banknotes now.
So means it's also a color changing patterns as well?
There's color changing patterns, yes, in some areas of the banknote. Okay. Like I was talking about the security features. After the thread, there's what we call the OVI, the variable inks that are sitting on the 10 kwacha and the 20 kwacha. So when you twist the banknote, you find this variable ink, the OVI, changes color. Okay. On the 50 right up to the 500 kwacha, there is also what we call spark flow. Okay. Very interesting feature. There's a Zambian flag on it, and at the bottom, like a piece of the coat of arms with like Victoria Falls, water falling. When you do that, you see it moving up and down. And that feature actually, even in an old banknote, it doesn't fade away. Oh, so you can even if the banknote is tattered, if you do it, it outlives the banknote. So for security and for people to be able to know that I'm being given the right thing, you should be able to play with those moving features.
Oh, I see.
The sizes also of the banknote this time are different.
Oh, okay.
So you've got the
How different are they?
Pardon?
How different are they?
How different are they? Okay, the largest banknote, which is the 500, is the same size as maybe the current 100 kwacha. Okay. Then all the other banknotes going backwards are smaller. Okay, in terms of the height, they're the same. Okay. But in terms of the length, that's where they become shorter by about 5 millimeter until the very last one. So you can distinguish them even by size. So meaning even somebody who can't read can know that this small one is this large one is this. Putting them together. So again, all that is security actually at a very low level, but an easy, simple way of distinction. Other than the color, at least you can look at the size, you can look at those moving features I've talked about, and then we also have what I would call tactile marks on the side of the banknotes. In the old denominations, we had little lines for the visually impaired. So there were little lines, but when we had discussions with our colleagues from that community, the different associations, because they were just like, you had one for one denomination, then 2, 3, 4, up to 5 of them. So they said they could not, over time they could not fill them, and it was very difficult because the idea was like you want them to count them. But this particular time, we've changed the pattern of the tactile marks. Okay. So if you look at the current banknotes, they've got very user-friendly tactile marks, which were even approved by the community of the visually impaired, because they went through and tested them long before we even came up with the banknotes. They tested these features, which they said they felt better, and they were even jokingly speaking to their people, said, look, I won't need you to tell me how much money I'm holding, because within a short interactive session, about 2 hours, they were able to distinguish these features more easily than what is sitting on our current. So all that is security being provided to different people within our society.
Okay, so now with the aspect of financial inclusion, understanding that your line is so much into this, and you are based on the currency management perspectives. What would be your last remark as regarding to currency management and circulation system? Of course, consider that this is now the elephant in the room. How are we going forward? What can you tell the audience out there regarding the exercise that you're about to undertake? Yeah.
Okay, so what our people must expect is that once this exercise is done, we shall have optimal denomination mix within the environment. Everybody should be able to access banknotes and coins that they use for their everyday trade and commerce, our expectation is that you must have cleaner banknotes. You must have also distinguishable coins. I did not talk about the coins in terms of security, like the 5 Kwacha and the 2 Kwacha, 1 Kwacha. If you look at them, they are different in many ways. Okay, you can touch the edges of the coin. For the visually impaired, they should be able to tell what coin they are holding. So they're also well secured. So the expectation is that also you have cleaner money. So if you've got 5 Kwacha and 2 Kwacha, there will be no need for you to want to not hold it because it's very dirty. Now you are going to have a clean coin which does not get dirty, and it circulates for a longer period of time, a longer life span. You will also have banknotes of the different categories, deal with the change issues. But at the same time, as a bank, we continue to encourage people, because banknotes are serving as part of the payment ecosystem. But there's also mobile payments which can be undertaken. We still encourage people to go cashless where they're able to. We still encourage people to use other means of payments. For those that have cards, they can use those. For those that have mobile payments, the merchants, most of the merchants are now accepting, they're able to create some code of some kind, then you just put in your PIN and you're able to buy, taking away those issues of your choseller and so on. So as all that space also grows, the banknotes and coins also act as one of the supplements, because we do understand, like you are saying, financial inclusion, there are people elsewhere who may not have access to digital forms of payment. Sure. So the banknotes and coins also provide as a solution to those sectors of our society. So everybody is included. The ecosystem is wide enough. The financial system is ready to help, and the Bank of Zambia wants to be a part of the solution to the society's problems.
Thank you so much, dear viewers. There you have it. We've come to the end of this program. I hope it was an interesting and very interesting piece of information that was coming from our discussion. Thank you so much that you have even reached this very moment with us. From me, Kelvin Sanga, and the rest of the group at Millennium TV. Join us next week as we come with yet another interesting and important message next week. Thank you so much. Good night and God bless you.